All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to take a totally fresh look at a molecule you probably think you've got all figured out, creatine. But forget about bigger biceps for a second. We're going way beyond the weight room and diving deep into the most complex, most energy-hungry organ you have. Yeah, your brain. You know the stuff, right? For decades, we've seen this white powder in gyms, associated it with muscle growth, and, well, that's about it. But what if I told you the latest science is showing that its most important work might not be in your arms at all, but right up here, between your ears? Okay, so to really get creatine, we need a super quick crash course in cellular energy. Just think of something called ATP as, like, literal energy cash. It's what your cells spend for instant, high-powered actions. And the second you spend it, the phosphocreatine system is the ATM that instantly reloads your account. It uses creatine to turn that spent energy back into fresh, usable ATP. It's your body's own rapid recharge system, happening constantly. Now, in our muscles, this system is an absolute superstar. I mean, this is its claim to fame. By boosting those phosphocreatine stores, it lets us push harder in those short, intense bursts of activity. Think sprinting or lifting heavy. It delays fatigue, helps with muscle growth. This is exactly why it's a household name in the fitness world. No surprise there. So, okay, we've got its role in physical power down. But here's the thing. That is just a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle. Because you see, your muscles, they're not even the most energy-demanding organ in your body. Not by a long shot. There's something else that's way more of an energy hog. So, with that in mind, let's meet the real energy guzzler of the human body. Yep, it's your brain. Get this, your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it devours a staggering 20% of your daily energy. Think about that. Every single thought, every memory you recall, every little calculation you make, it's an incredibly energy-expensive process. And here's the kicker. Your brain uses the exact same rapid recharge system, that ATP phosphocreatine system, to keep its billions and billions of neurons firing at lightning speed. It needs that instant energy top-up just as much, maybe even more, than your muscles do when you're going all out in a sprint. But this is where the story gets really, really interesting. This is where the science is headed right now. It looks like creatine isn't just some passive fuel source for the brain. Nope. It might actually be an active player in how our neurons talk to each other. That's a role we honestly never saw coming. So the new research is finding that creatine can directly influence these key communication hubs in the brain called receptors. We're talking about things like NMDA receptors, which are absolutely vital for learning and making new memories. It might even interact with GABA A receptors, the ones that help, calm everything down. And get this, it's actually released from neurons in a way that looks almost identical to classic neurotransmitters, like serotonin or dopamine. That's a huge deal. Okay, so if creatine is this important for brain energy and it's acting like a neurotransmitter, the big question is, can taking it as a supplement actually make a difference for our mental health and our thinking? Well, let's take a look at what the evidence is starting to show. 280 million. That's the number of people globally who are affected with depression. And what's interesting is that more and more research is linking this condition to problems with brain bioenergetics. Yep, those exact energy systems we've been talking about, the ones creatine is a key player in. And that's where we see a really interesting potential use case. A few clinical studies have actually found that when you add creatine to a standard antidepressant treatment, like an SSRI, it can seriously boost the results. And this effect seems to be particularly strong in women. All right, what about thinking and memory as we get older? Well, a big review that looked at a bunch of studies found a positive connection, which is great news. But, and this is a big but, it also made it super clear that this area of research is still really new. The studies they looked at all used different approaches, different dosages, so it's kind of hard to draw a straight line. The takeaway? It's promising, for sure, but we definitely need more, better designed studies to know for certain. And that leads us to some research that is, well, it's truly groundbreaking, even if it's still in the very early stages. For the very first time, scientists decided to ask, could creatine supplementation actually help people with Alzheimer's disease? Is it even feasible? And the results were pretty stunning. After only 8 weeks of taking it, the researchers measured an average 11% increase in creatine levels right inside the participants' brains. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but it was a massive finding. It proved that, yes, you can successfully get more creatine into the brain of this specific group of patients just by supplementing. The lead researcher, Dr. Matthew Taylor, put it really well. He was, cautiously optimistic. He pointed out that while they did see some small improvements in cognitive scores, the real win of this first study was just proving the concept. It gives them the green light, the rationale they need to go out and do much bigger, more definitive clinical trials down the road. Okay, so with all this incredible potential on the table, the next questions are pretty obvious, right? Is it safe? Who's it actually for? And how would you even use it? So based on what we know right now, it seems like some people might get more out of it than others. For instance, vegetarians and vegans, since they don't get creatine from meat, tend to have lower levels to start with, so they often see a really good response. The same could be true for older adults who are concerned about both muscle and brain health. But on the flip side, it's super important to be cautious if you have any pre-existing kidney issues. In that case, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor first. But here is the most crucial takeaway when it comes to safety. For the average, healthy person, creatine is one of the most researched supplements on the entire planet. I mean, we're talking decades of studies. Leading experts like Dr. Richard Kreider have made it clear it has an incredibly strong safety profile for people of all ages. All right, so what about dosage? How much are people actually taking? Well, it really depends on the goal. For muscles, you often hear about a loading phase, taking a higher amount for a week or so, then dropping down to a smaller daily maintenance dose. But for the brain health and cognitive benefits we're talking about, the studies have used a pretty wide range, anything from 5 grams a day all the way up to 20 grams in some cases. So we've pretty much shattered the just for muscles myth, right? And we've dug into its amazing role in the brain. But believe it or not, the story doesn't even stop there. This simple little molecule just keeps revealing more and more surprising benefits. Okay, let's do a quick lightning round of some of its other superpowers. Research is showing it can act as a direct antioxidant, fighting off those nasty free radicals. It seems to help protect the DNA inside our mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside our cells. And because it helps your cells hold on to water, it can actually improve your hydration and help you tolerate heat better during a tough workout. Pretty cool, huh? So think about it. Creatine has made this incredible journey from the wheat room all the way to the cutting-edge neuroscience lab. It's just such a powerful reminder that sometimes the most profound discoveries are hiding in plain sight. Its story is clearly far from over, which just leaves you wondering, what else is this little powerhouse molecule going to teach us next?